Located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit mavericksbeef.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live on AM 950, the Progressive Voice of Minnesota. In the evenings on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. In the nighttime hours in Seattle, 1150 AM KKNW. And, of course, on BAM, Blue Amp Media at blueamp.co on Substack. That's blueamp.co on Substack. It is the Matt McNeil Show for your Friday. Boy, do I've got a humdinger for you today. First of all, from Riff Tracks and MST3K, Bill Corbett's going to join us here in about a half an hour. Not only we'll talk a little bit about what's going on here in Minneapolis, because of course he is living here in the metro area and we're friends. We've had him on multiple times, but there's a big announcement if you didn't see it from the Riff Tracks guys. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Michael Broadcorp going to join us back in. We had him in for politics. What was it? Last week we had him in for politics. We're going to go back to our football mode because we got the Super Bowl coming up here. We're going to make our picks on the Super Bowl as the Seattle Seahawks take on the New England Patriots in California. And that is coming up here in a little bit. Patrick, how are we today?
Doing pretty well. It's such a humdinger of a show. You've got me in for a rare Friday.
We got you in a rare Friday. It's nice to have you here. Two things. First of all, we got to give away some Blue Man tickets, group tickets coming up here as well next hour. So looking for that. Ooh, that's called excitement, folks. And then also, who are you more excited about, the Olympics or the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. I can't lie.
All right, I'm going to let you have the first, taste of this one. Who do you think's going to win?
I think Seattle's going to win. I think they're just the better team.
I do too. I definitely think that the New England Patriots are a fun story for sure. Absolutely a fun story. And the fact that they were able to rebuild that team as quickly as they did there. But I'll tell you what, we'll save the rest of that for a little bit later on. But what halftime show are you watching, Patrick? Are you watching Bad Bunny, one of the most popular artists on the planet, or are you going to the Right-O MAGA version?
I'll let you decide.
You're watching Bad Bunny. Oh, I did love this statistic. Donald Trump's mother came to the United States in like 1930s. Bad Bunny's family was here in like 1898. So when they sit there and they say, "Oh, this is an anti-American show," no, Bad Bunny's been here longer than your orange, God. I guess I was going to say a bad word, but I'll say your orange crapalicious God. That's he's been here longer than that. So yeah, I'm watching the Bad Bunny one too.
Yeah, I don't need the Klan rally on my TV.
That's it is good. It definitely is. There's going to be a Klan rally vibe to it, and I'll get to that here as well coming up here. Do we know? Have we heard any of the special guests? Apparently, there are going to be special guests.
I unfortunately could not tell you.
I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. I hope it's a big name. Ooh, it's not too often you have the Olympics and the Super Bowl going at the same time. I mean, it sometimes happens, but it generally doesn't. They usually avoid each other. Usually the Olympics are a little bit later, but also the Super Bowl's been moving later and later into February anyway. So plenty of stuff to watch on TV. I was watching already the ice skating team competition. I watched a little bit of the curling today when I was running this morning. Go USA. They got the win over the Czech Republic in the round robin stuff. And then, of course, they had women's hockey versus Slovenia, I think it was. Anyway. Lots of stuff still going on, but now the opening ceremonies. I was watching a little bit of that live. That is going to be what they're going to have featured, obviously, tonight on the main broadcast. So if you watch that, you'll see the opening ceremonies, and it looked quite spectacular. So enjoy that. Kid Rock, though, has addressed outrage over Turning Point USA's rival Super Bowl halftime Klan rally by invoking the invoking the late NBA legend Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality, sharing a quote about learning to love the hate. You guys are the hate. You guys, it's like, when Kobe Bryant was saying it, he would look at your halftime show and say, "Well, there's the hate." Okay. The controversial country bellower, and Donald Trump loyalist, 55. He's only 50. Kid Rock is only 55. I don't say this that often. I look fantastic next to Kid Rock. Dear God, he looked like he had been dragged behind a horse for a few hours. Yeah. He was announced as a headliner for the right-wing organization's All-American Hitler. Halftime. Sorry. Halftime. Misread that. Halftime show created in protest of the NFL selection of Puerto Rican singer and rapper Bad Bunny as its 2026 Super Bowl halftime performer. The alternative halftime show, scheduled to take place the same day, has been subject to much criticism and mockery, justified. Rock's 2001 Cool Daddy Cool, which contains several unsavory lyrics, has resurfaced ahead of its performance. Of course, once again, we need to remind you, this is a guy who's a big fan of Donald Trump, and they're trying to escape the Epstein files, and the main performer for the MAGA halftime show features a song in the young ladies, I like them underage. See, some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. There are your lyrics, dude. Actually, they were sung by rapper Joe C, but part of your song, which you wrote. So, yeah. Anyway, get ready for that. If your family tree looks more like a Christmas wreath, well, have I got a halftime show for you? Yikes. I'll watch it after the fact. Because, okay, my priorities go this way. Halftime show, commercials, Puppy Bowl. Come on. It's the Puppy Bowl. You think I'm missing the freaking Puppy Bowl? No. It's the Puppy Bowl. It's puppies. Trust me, I need the Puppy Bowl now. Then the game, if it's a good game, that one game where the Patriots came back against the Falcons, I could not turn that game off. That game was amazing. That was the overtime game. Phenomenal. So if it's a good game, I'll watch it more, but usually the game sucks. Let's be honest. It's not a really great game. So that kind of comes after Puppy Bowl. And then maybe MeTV has a My Favorite Martians rerun series. So I might catch that. Oh, obviously some highlights from the Olympics. If there's some Olympic action I'll watch that as well. Then just staring at the wall for a while. And then maybe the MAGA halftime show. Good luck with all that. I'm sure they'll have a wide variety of coleslaws and potato salads to choose from. Speaking of which, one of the things I've talked about with Trump over the years is that his real, the one thing he does better than any person I've ever seen is he will throw a firebomb to get basically anything off the front page, and he's pretty good at it. But the problem is that he's had lately is that he has had to get to more and more extremes. I've always said that if bad news came out about him, he'd basically go to the White House press corps, drop his pants, wave his cheeks at the press corps. The press corps is like, of course, we got to cover this. And so whatever the bad news was he was about to talk about when he came up to the podium is gone because the president, exposed himself to the press corps, and that's what he'd have to do. But the problem is as I said that, and that's a pretty extreme case, they're pretty much there. They invaded Minneapolis to basically get the Epstein files off the front page. Minneapolis went so bad, they released the Epstein files to get Minneapolis off the front page. And now both of them are imploding in on them. So Trump does what all he can do. And here is the latest thing. He goes full racist. And do not make a mistake. What Donald Trump did today would be the equivalent of him putting on a sheet and burning a cross in the White House lawn. He is at this point to try to diverge from his failures, that he is at the point of putting on a sheet and burning a cross on the White House lawn. Because this is as racist gets. Trump has finally removed a social media video, which included the racist clip depicting Barack and Michelle Obama in an incredibly horrible light, as they were basically depicted as monkeys, which is, once again, this is that kind of horrific racism that just exists everywhere within the Republican Party. They depicted them as apes. The clip was set to the song "The Lion Sleeps Tonight" was the end of a 62-second video he'd shared containing claims about voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election. There was no voter fraud. He just lost. He was an incompetent boob. And we saw it because the COVID exposed how incompetent he was. And now he's still sore about that. Republican Senator Tim Scott, who himself is black, had called for the president to remove the post, describing it as the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House, which that's not an easy thing to get past. There is a high standard of racism there. That is, there's a lot there. The South Carolina Republican and ally Trump posted that he was praying it was fake because it was the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. John Curtis, Republican senator from Utah, posted on social media that the video was blatantly racist and inexcusable. It should have never been posted or left published for so long. In a statement sent to the BBC, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said the clip was from an internet meme video protecting Trump as the king of the jungle, and basically the Democrats are the characters of the Lion King. And this is Carolyn Leavitt initially came on out and said, please stop with the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public, which is, by the way, that is code word for, oh my God, don't make me have to talk about this. But this is so bad. And once again, they did this because yesterday the markets collapsed. Yesterday, Minneapolis is not getting any better right now. The Epstein files have exposed that Trump raped kids and basically trafficked kids. It's part of that whole that organization. And so he is at the point of going full racist to try to divert from the bad news. And at any other point in the history of this country, if a politician had done something this egregious, this would be the last day of their presidency. The absolute cluster F that's the Republican Party is all out there saying, well, I haven't seen it, even though it's the main news story today. This is the first time I've heard of it. I'll scramble back to my office and view it. And if it's bad, I guarantee it. And they'll say nothing. Ugh. This is the equivalent of Donald Trump putting on a sheet and having a Klan rally with a burning cross in the front of the White House. It's so damn inexcusable, but yet inexcusable. That could be the tagline for the Republicans today. It is the Matt McNeil Show.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for.
Hey everyone, it's Ellie Krug, the host of The Illegal Trans Woman here on lovely AM 950. Now you know our show is about advocating for transgender and non-binary people. And let me tell you, in the political climate that's going on right now, we have a lot to talk about. I have exciting news. Effective immediately, our show is moving to 3 o'clock on Saturdays on AM 950. Plus, you'll always be able to find it on podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. So join me, The Illegal Trans Woman, 3 o'clock Saturdays.
AM 950 would like to thank everyone who joined and donated during our winter membership drive. Your support shows that Minnesotans still value an independent progressive radio station that delivers facts, not spin. AM 950 is locally owned, based right here in the Twin Cities, and dedicated to uplifting small businesses and diverse communities. At a time when some voices are being pushed aside, AM 950 refuses to be silenced. Please help keep progressive radio on the air. Visit am950radio.com and donate today.
I am the amazing Cassandra, a mechanical fortune teller who can predict the exact date and time of your passing. But 5 teenagers have died, and I alone have the power to save them if they can pass my test of song. Their musical trials begin January 16th at Lyric Arts Theater in Anoka. Ride the cyclone along with them at lyricarts.org.
Hey, Chanhassen and Eden Prairie, it's Alex with Buzz Cut Mowing. Why wake up early, freeze, and shovel snow when I can handle it for you? I provide fast, reliable snow removal so your driveway and sidewalk stay clear, safe, and stress-free all winter long. Relax, enjoy your morning coffee, and let me do the heavy lifting. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com today and make this winter easier, warmer, and worry-free with Buzz Cut Mowing, because nobody likes shoveling snow.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been telling you about my friends at Snap Construction, who are arguably the most well-reviewed exterior construction company in the metro. Don't just take my word for it. Take a look at all their reviews online. Winter is the most cost-effective time of the year to complete your construction project. A majority of Minnesotans choose to have their work completed on their home in the summer when they should be enjoying the weather. As a result, the demand for labor in the summer is much higher. The most cost-effective way to improve or restore your home is in the winter due to the lower demand. Right now, Snap Construction is offering an additional 30% off of labor to the AM 950 listeners on your next construction project between now and the end of February. Call 612-333-SNAP and mention AM 950 for an additional 30% off. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
It is the Matt McNeil Show on your Friday. Once again, Bill Corbett going to be in here in just about a little over 10 minutes from right now. By the way, it's funny because one of the things you'll see, and as I mentioned, Trump went full racist because he's desperate to get the Epstein files in Minneapolis off the front page. And I also think this might have been a little preemptive because I think we're already going to see how the U.S. is going to be received in Italy with the Olympics. And hopefully they're not booing them too bad. But anyway, yeah. But the reality is that he's garbage internationally. He's garbage domestically. So he basically is just trying to get, he went full racist. And I think that even they were surprised at how racist he went. And now he's trying to basically get away from this. He's just a horrible human being. The trolls that exist in this world, the ones, Albania, from, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan and stuff like that, Russia, they basically have gotten their marching orders. They have to defend Donald Trump on this. And we've actually already had a few show up in some of the live stream comments about it. It's like, he never said anything that was wrong. Really? Okay. Because, I just imagine how much booze you must have to drink every single day to be a loyal Trump troll and have to roll out there and defend. Yeah, so he had sex with kids. And so, he basically started shooting people in the streets. And he's destroyed the economy. Oh, yeah, that's really racist. But he's still the greatest ever. Let's talk about how he's the healthiest president that's ever lived. Glug, glug, glug. Jeez, they're the only people keeping the American distilleries open right now. Dear Lord, 952-946-6205. Let me talk about the economy really quick because something happened today that, okay, so if you hadn't paid attention to the markets this week, and I'm going to repeat what I've been saying, every major economic indicator, foundational market of this country is just taking it right in the trousers right now. The ag sector, the housing sector, the dollar, the bond market. You can run the commodity markets. They're all just sucking canal water right now because Trump has mismanaged everything. But what has kept the stock markets up is two things. And it clearly is two things. It's one, it's Bitcoin, which you've seen massive transfers of money from Bitcoin over to the stock market to kind of try to prop these things up. And two is this massive AI bubble, which is just non-existent. And this is a bit of a concern because the bigger this AI bubble gets, the bigger the crash is going to be. If you didn't see it this week, the market started to react to the fact that there's no there. That this is basically a handful of wealthy people throwing as much money around as possible to try to keep the presence, the appearance that the markets are doing well. And through the week, we've actually had particularly the tech sector and the AI sector getting kind of starting to roll back. And I said, okay, is this the beginning of it? Today, though, there was a massive, and the stock market was up 1,200 points, broke 50,000. Once again, massive AI bubble, because this is quite literally Trump loyalist financial people and corporations pouring their own money in to the markets to get it up there. And I'll tell you why they did this in a second. But I want to point out one thing which is also not going well. The Bitcoin has been getting hammered. At one point, it was at $120,000 a coin. I don't know what it is. It's $120,000 per coin. So whatever. It had gone all the way down to 60,000. I mean, it was down yesterday. It was like on the verge of collapsing, which is not a surprise because it's a Ponzi scheme. Bernie Madoff. That's what this is. It's a Ponzi scheme. And so it has been getting, basically people are losing faith in the crypto market because you probably should have never gotten into the crypto market it is. And there are these videos online of these, white Republicans who basically are wearing their MAGA hats screaming because they poured all their money into the crypto market because they were told this is how you're going to basically make millions. And now they're losing everything. Now, it did bounce back today down to 70,000 from 60,000. So, but these are wild fluctuations. There is no stability there right now at all. And as a matter of fact, my guess is it's going to plummet even further come Monday. Bitcoin tumbled $60,000 to $60,000 this week as investors reassessed its utility. And while there isn't one clear catalyst driving the bloodbath, one thing is clear: the crypto market is in crisis. Well, because it's not real. It's a fake made-up money that you've duped people into thinking is real. That's what it is. There's nothing going on in the marketplace that should have necessitated this type of crash, said Scaramucci, founder and managing partner of alternative investment firm Skybridge. And so I think that's made people, frankly, more fearful. You have to ask yourself, is it over for Bitcoin? They were down to $60,062 on Thursday, bringing it to its lowest levels since October 11, 2024. That's more than 52% off of its record high. Now, it should be noted, the record high, by the way, was 126. It should be noted that this was at about the time of Trump, and Trump and his boys have been pushing up this money. So what happened here? So how did the markets bounce back this much? I can tell you, I was looking at volume. I'm looking at some of the things here. Didn't look at it too deeply because I was watching some of the Olympic stuff. I got to be honest. But here's what it appears has happened. They're basically realizing the music is starting to stop. And so this was a man-made readjustment today where a bunch of wealthy people threw as much money into the markets as they could manage to get the numbers up as high as they are today. And mark my word, this weekend, there are going to be an insane amount of discussions at these executive levels and these wealthy investors and in the Republican Party. Okay, we need to get our money out of this right now. We've got it back up to we went up to 1,200 points. We're at the top level. It's not probably going to get any higher. We need to start cashing out now. And so that is going to be the discussion. And as you can imagine, with that as being the discussion, it's going to be coming down. I think what we're seeing today is not some sort of resurrection of the market, but more of a last gasp of the market before it goes down. And it might not go down next Monday. It might not go down next week. But you're going to start seeing, I think, a lot of the big money people who have put this money in now are going to basically come on out and saying, hey, it's perfect, buy. They're going to sell out as quickly as they can because I think they're realizing the music has stopped and there's only one share left in the room. Amazon, here's one. They shrank, and this is why the AI bubble, I think, is in trouble. They basically shrank more than 9% today. Their stock dropped like a ball because they surprised investors who are already aware the artificial intelligence boom is at a risk of becoming a bubble. And so because of Amazon involving themselves as deeply in the AI trade, they basically plummeted today. There's your sign. It's when I see something like that, I was like, you guys, but okay, so why did the markets go up 1,200 points if basically you're punishing a company that's already in AI? And Bitcoin's not there to save you anymore. Iceberg dead ahead. Bill Corbett, when we do come on back, it is the Matt McNeil Show.
You will find me.
It's Brad Friedman, host of the Bradcast, weeknights at 7 on AM 950, KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Blue Man Group's North American Tour is coming to the State Theater February 13th through 15th. Dive into the thrilling Blue Man Group experience, a blend of captivating music, interactive art, and audience engagement. Blue Man Group creates a fun, disruptive, and out-of-the-ordinary atmosphere that exhilarates the senses and uplifts spirits for audiences of all ages. Tickets are on sale now at hennepinarts.org.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. February is the month for love, so when was the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it deserves? Maybe you've been procrastinating on the holiday post-mortem cleanup at your house. Are you worried if you got down on your hands and knees what you might see or smell? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the largest air filter in your home. And what's worse, you're going to be stuck inside breathing this nasty stuff for months. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call my friends at Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. A 4.9 rating on Google reviews and over 21,000 satisfied customers can't be wrong. Backwards and forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Uncover the rich history of Minnesota through Whoosh, a lively and deeply moving ghost tale. Solo artist Andrew Erskine Wheeler masterfully brings to life a range of characters, intertwining the rich history of St. Anthony Falls in the post-Civil War era with the story of his Irish heritage. This award-winning show weaves a hauntingly local and unforgettable ghost story through compelling song and storytelling. The History Theater's Whoosh plays January 29th through February 22nd. Find tickets at historytheater.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. This afternoon, skies clear with temperatures falling to 25. Then tonight, clear with a low of 8. Go Dog Go, Vaporove is going on now at Children's Theater Company. Get tickets today for this joyful bilingual musical where delightful dogs drive, swim, play baseball, and race to the big dog party. Get your tickets at childrenstheater.org.
AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Broadcasting on WCPT 820 Chicago's Progressive Talk, where I'm representing Chicago today with the Super Dog shirt. God, I gotta get up there again. I love that place. Seattle, the nighttime hours, 11:50 a.m. KKNW on BAM, the Blue Amp Media Network at blueamp.co on Substack. That's blueamp.co on Substack. And of course, on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, it is the Matt McNeil Show for your Friday. Bill Corbett is kind enough to join us once again here at the show. Riff Tracks is hilarious, and trust me, has gotten me through many of the days in the last few months, as they are brilliant and very funny. But of course, if you know much about Riff Tracks, you know that these are the three. Bill is part of that trio that basically finished out the run of the original MST3K. Well, there's been some big news, and so I immediately put out the Bill signal, and Bill was kind enough to take some time today to talk about, we'll talk a little bit about Minneapolis and Minnesota, what's going on up here, but as well talk about the big news, which is you guys had a big announcement, the Riff Track guys.
Yeah, we put it out there on Monday, and first of all, I love the idea of the Bill signal. That makes you my Commissioner Gordon, which I like. Yeah, we've been sitting on this for a while as various lawyers kind of like worked out the details, but we are going back to the puppets, and we're going to do, Mike, Kevin, and I are going to do 4 episodes of Mystery Science Theater, the original show, which should, God willing, come out this year.
What? Okay, so you say it's been going around. I mean, you guys. I mean, this is obviously the truth. You guys are brilliantly successful with Riff Tracks. Riff Tracks is great. I mean, you guys have done so many things. You're wonderful. And if you're not on Riff Tracks, you need to be on Riff Tracks. They are outstanding. But and of course you're iconic as MST3K. So talk about a little bit about that discussion about should we go back and revisit the original show?
Well, really, what happened was we were asked to do it by Shout Factory, also called Shout Studios, who co-owned it with Joel Hodgson, who he was kind of done and he sold his rights. They made a deal, and Shout Factory said, hey, you guys want to take another bite? And we did think about it because, I mean, we're not youngins anymore, and there's a danger of just looking like, oh man, I wish these guys had left it where it was. But it just seemed like it would be a lot of fun and maybe worth a roll of the dice here. And so what we did do is say, all right, let's try 4, and then we'll see how it goes from there. And if we just find like I can't lift the puppet anymore because of my rheumatism or whatever, then we reconsider. Oh, golly, I need a puppet caddy. But all we've really done so far is shoot a trailer for the Kickstarter, and that was so much fun in itself that I think we made the right choice. And it's all going to be made here in Minneapolis, which it's weird because of course we didn't know this and we would not have wanted this to be the circumstances, but I feel actually great about it being filmed here in Minnesota and in Minneapolis while all this other hell stuff is going on here. Yeah. It's like, let's bring a little bit of joy back to this place because it deserves it.
I got to tell you the truth. When I saw the announcement, and the first thing I said to myself was, in these darkest times, sometimes we need a bright light. And this, and do not downplay this because we're going to get to where the Kickstarter's at right now. We need a bright light. And it's not just me, and it's not a lot of people, because you go back, I mean, MST3K was such an iconic show. I mean, that first season with Jay Elvis when he was there, I mean, they were kind of feeling themselves out. And then they had that Joel run there. You guys came on in, and the edgier, you'll notice my name on my thing is Big McLarge Huge.
I saw that.
Because you guys were just, you found some fantastic Canadian movies. You guys went after.
Really, we did. Oh, The Final Sacrifice, one of my favorite. Oh, God. Zap Rousdower.
Zap Rousdower, of course, the leading man name. So you guys, you have that iconic point, and I think you guys carried it. And of course, this was the episodes with Brain Guy, Bobo, Pearl, and you got the entire everything's coming back.
Yeah, and we couldn't be happier about it. I mean, it's really gone from us feeling like kind of a little tentative and let's work out how we feel about doing this and will we be as good and all. One thing I do feel pretty confident about after years of riff tracks is we're very good, for better or worse, we're very good at riffing movies. It's a weird skill, but we have it. The other part, we're just a little trickier, and trickier in some logistical ways too. Is like, where do we get a working crow and servo at this point? But that's all worked out. We have a studio booked for it here in town. It won't be the one we did the original one at Eden Prairie, where Hopkins was the mailing address. Although we may actually recoup that, but we'll see. But but now I think we're all feeling really good about it. We've started to write the movie parts, and we're going to be jamming on sketches towards the end of this month. And feels great.
It does. It feels, as a fan, this feels so good. I mean, this and it's nice. I mean, it's kind of one of those things, and I want to make sure. Got the Olympics starting up, got the Super Bowl. There are some things kind of look forward to, and then you see this, and you're like, oh my God, man, this is. I didn't realize how much I needed something like this, and it is kind of a wonderful thing. I mean, for you, if you don't mind me asking, just the kind of the nuts and bolts of this, you do the riff track stuff, and you kind of do that just as a straight riff, which we saw with Cinematic Titanic, something like that.
Yeah.
When those guys did that, it's a straight riff. So talk about the, as you have this, the trepidation about Paisley picking up Crow T Robot again. Talk about, having to get back in that mindset, because I imagine the delivery and the process changes obviously quite a bit on how you do the riff.
It does a little bit, and part of it is like figuring out, all right, how we've been doing. This is our 20th year of doing riff tracks. It just caught up with us, but now we are in that mode, and I think there will be some differences that are apparent. One of them is I think we do try to keep MST3K a little family friendlier as a rule, which is okay by me, and we don't. It's not like we're filthy over at Riff Track. We just the choice of material has a little more latitude, but it's also the voices of at least Servo and Crow are a little different than me and Kevin. Surprisingly, not that different in terms of actual sound. People are like, "What do you do to make your voice into Crow's?" Like, I talk. I don't know. Maybe I act a little goofier, but not much more than that. But yeah.
Well, and of course you mentioned Kevin Mallon, and of course Mike Nelson. Who, I by the way, I did love the trailer you did, because he's like, I'm a middle-aged man. And I'm okay. Can I just say this? I immediately says, Mike, I'm your age, middle-aged man. No, we're moving on now, man.
I am responsible for writing that line in the trailer. And I just kind of feel like, he looks good for his age. I don't want to make him an old man. I'm an old man. Fine. But, we'll take care of that on the show. I think that the robots are going to give Mike a little grief for daring to age.
Well, and as I can say as a fan, I did love how the robots evolved on the original show, where, it was kind of, there was almost a father figure mentality with Joel, and it more was kind of, the pesky office coworkers with Mike, which was just the way there's zero respect. And I did love how that was portrayed.
I feel like he was the big brother who was very, pretty patient with them, but every now and then had to tell him to calm down. But yeah, it was maybe a little more of a peer relationship.
You talk about that you guys have this natural skill, and that is 100% true. And whether it's the new the MST3K episodes they did on Netflix, or Trace and Frank, who I talk to on a regular basis, and I see some of the stuff that they're doing and stuff, you guys are just better. You sent me a clip. You guys were on, was it Midas Touches, one of their shows, and you did some riffing.
Trace and Frank and I did it's on the Midas Touch network. It's like a little subset called Super Alien Show, which they acknowledge is kind of an MST3K inspired thing, and they do clips of the news, and man, I don't know how they do it. I think I would have an aneurysm if I had to watch that stuff on the regular, because when they first gave us the clip, and we just sort of improvised over it, and they're very good editors, got a lot of my curses and punching the wall through it. But we were watching clips of like stuff happening in Minnesota, and so I am perpetually angry about that. I do think that if I had to keep watching like Fox News clips, I don't think I'd be as emotionally regulated as I can manage to be.
I don't know how Aaron Rupar does it. I have no idea how Aaron Rupar does it.
He seems to be made of steel in that regard. He's just...
Well, and by the way, you're talking about the X-rated show. You do the news segment a little bit later on. All it's going to be a longshoreman's convention. Okay, we want to drive people to Kickstarter, because obviously this is a gift we're being given. But once again, in this day and age, this is not something that's free. But I'm going to make my own pitch to everybody out there. I basically, they're going to do 4 movies. I gave $100. You know why I gave $100 to it? Is because of this. If my wife and I went to a movie theater, that's 25 right there. So 4 movies, done. Easy peasy. That's just math. It's just math.
Bless. I love that.
And so I'm going to get the DVDs when they eventually come on out and all this stuff. So I'm going to be happy about that. But it's just, go into their Kickstarter page, make a donation. They've already had an amazing result as far as their numbers go. But by all means, if this is something that you want to see, I imagine this money is going to get poured back into these. So these are going to be phenomenal shows.
Yeah, you know what? Like, we're starting from absolute scratch this time. This is not to plead poverty, because honestly, this has been far beyond my expectation, anybody's expectations. So very, very, very grateful. But we went into it thinking, all right, we might have to do these on the cheap, but it's only just so cheap we want to go. This is part of the experiment to see how it goes. And now I feel like we can actually build a decent new set and pay everybody well. And, you know, and these, you know, it is a donate. I would like to maybe just in a very self-interested way say it is a donation in a way, but it's also a pre-sale. You're actually buying these to own. And a lot of the higher stuff is just, you know, for people who are collectors. Like, you can get a script that we all sign from the production itself. But this time we're not doing a lot of stretch goals or anything like that. We're just going to keep it where it is and, you know, announce some cool things. There is at least one cool thing I am sitting on that I can't mention now, but look for it next week.
All right.
It's made me very, very happy indeed.
All right. Well, we'll obviously we'll get to that here, but go to the Kickstarter page, make a donation. I'll make a link to it on all the social media pages a little bit later on. Is there an easy web address on that one?
Just go to rifftracks.com, and we are not shy about putting that link right at the top.
I'm going to ask you this. Okay, we're going to turn this a little serious here. You guys, you're talking about that this has been something you've been talking about a while. How much did the last 2 months in this city kind of push you guys to sort of say, you know, maybe it is time for us to try to put some smiles on people's faces again?
Well, we had sort of agreed to do it before the last 2 months. Then it just got Shout Factory had a merger, and that it's not very interesting. But there were a bunch of months we knew we were probably going to do it, but we had to kind of wait on everything. That said, it has really added dimension to me of, my God, I love Minnesota, and I want to do it here, and I want good things for Minnesota, and take pride in the fact that this show started here in a very modest way and is beloved by you know, we're not Prince on that level, but I feel like, you know, it is a place worth defending with everything we've got, you know, and I feel like, yeah, we're bringing some smiles, I hope, and some laughs at a good time, but you know, this is a cliche in itself, but say the real heroes are the people who are out there volunteering and patrolling and doing food packing. And I've done a little of that myself, but man, the volunteers who are committed, who are telling me what to do, are superheroes. So, you know, my heart is full, and I'm glad we're doing MST3K here.
The people blowing whistles for sure. All right. Can you stick around for one more segment?
For sure.
By all means, Bill Corbett, once again, Riff Tracks. Go to Riff Tracks, find the link to the Kickstarter page, make a donation. I did, because you know what? I mean, how many people are about to get a smile on their damn face? And I want a smile on my face. And these guys are going to do it because, yeah, it's the Riff Track guys, and they're going back to MST3K. So find the Kickstarter page, make a donation, find out about there. And if you want a smile on your face tonight, just go buy something from Riff Tracks as well, which will be easy enough on the Riff Track page. Bill Corbett joining us. We'll take a break. Come on back. It's the Matt McNeil Show.
Don't worry about problems, I'll be a call away.
Crooners is a classic supper club with a wide range of entertainment. Make your reservations for a parade of international, national, and local artists in the main stage showroom, the intimate Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the seasonal Belvedere Under the Stars space. Or enjoy Maggie's Piano Lounge. Enjoy 4-star food and drinks with first-class supper club service. What are you waiting for? Go to croonersmn.com for more information and schedule. That's croonersmn.com.
This Valentine's Day, give the gift of reading at Next Chapter Booksellers. Whether you're trying to survive Trump administration too, or seeking something cozy, they've got you covered. Their newest nonfiction table offers books to channel anxiety into action. While for something lighter, check out their Japanese and Korean healing fiction, or explore their upsetting shelf of surreal, strange novels. Next Chapter Booksellers can help you find the perfect gift for Valentine's Day, whether to inspire, comfort, or escape. Located off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul, more at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
Hi, I'm Mary T. I'm a proud supporter of AM 950 because this station shares the values that I care about most: community, connection, and making a difference. Just like AM 950, I believe in using our energies, our resources, and our voices to lift up others. That's why I started the Mary T. Scholar Program at the University of Minnesota College of Education and Human Development. providing graduate students with internships internationally. For over the past 10 years, our students have served communities in Laos, Cambodia, Nepal, India, Cameroon, and Thailand, gaining experience and helping people in ways that really make a difference. Supporting AM 950 fosters conversation, awareness, and action in our communities. It's about shared values and believing that together we can make a difference. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more about the work that we do.
I am the amazing Cassandra, a mechanical fortune teller who can predict the exact date and time of your passing. But 5 teenagers have died, and I alone have the power to save them if they can pass my test of song. Their musical trials begin January 16th at Lyric Arts Theater in Anoka. Ride the cyclone along with them at lyricarts.org.
Oh, this is Robert Pilot. For Native relatives, healing is more than just sobriety. It's reclaiming Indigenous masculinity as a sacred, balanced force. Join Hunter Thundercloud for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. We explore how personal recovery uplifts our communities. It's time men step back into roles as mentors and spiritual leaders. Recovery is collective, and it starts with us. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. Let's tend the fire together.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. Bill Corbett from Riff Tracks and MSD3K kind enough to join us here. And because you and I are both Minnesota boys here, and I've been talking about this now, and I definitely want to talk about more about what's going on here. But I did want to take some time. I know you have been volunteering, and I want to say thanks for that, because even anything that anyone's doing, whether that's going to a caucus, whether that's just basically calling people up and saying, how are you doing, and seeing how things are going.
Yeah.
Or it's these people that are out at the Mounds View schools or the Columbia Heights schools, that they're basically on every corner trying to keep ice guys away from the kids, or, people out there blowing whistles when the ice guys show up. I mean, protesting takes a lot of forms. And one of the things I think that Minneapolis has shown is that one of the forms is helping people as much as we can. And there has been a real outpouring of community support for these communities that are being attacked right now by our own government.
Absolutely. And I like the point you make that it does take a lot of forms, and some of them are not particularly glamorous. Not that anybody's looking for glamour, but all of them, for the most part, are avoiding it's been called a trap of fighting back, with actual violence, which is hard, for too long for a population to do. But for now, everybody's keeping it pretty peaceful and pretty productive. And there are so many people doing it. And I don't know, I read this somewhere. I don't know if you agree with this theory, but it kind of feels like 2020 to 2021 prepared us a little bit for that, especially the George Floyd stuff. It's like, I know that's one of the reasons that Trump sent people here. Like, he wanted to undo that and say, I want to make that happen again, but I want to win. I want to mow people down.
Yeah.
But I think what he forgot, giving him credit for having more than a brainstem at all, which is, is that people here are pretty organized, and the networks were already in place. And those are heroic people you will never hear their names. They don't want their names necessarily out there. They don't need their names, but they are the people that I feel like are making this work. And it's amazing to see.
I want to get your personal, thoughts and from your own experience of when these two things happen. The first one is Alex Preddy. When that happened, because that's Eat Street. I mean, I'm down there all the time, and that's Cheapo Records. I mean, can't tell you how many times I've flipped through CDs and records in that place, and I see them kill somebody in the streets down there. And we went down there on Saturday, and it clearly is a damaged. I mean, they've left a scar on the ice guys left a scar on the city that we're trying to heal through, recognizing Alex and of course Renee Good as well. But when you became aware of that, what had happened down there, talk a little bit about that from your own perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it had already been a shock. The Renee Good thing was already a shock, and I went that night, the night that it happened, with my daughter and her boyfriend, who they were down from Duluth, to the block where it happened and the actual scene. And there was a memorial, and it was very solemn. It was moving in a lot of ways. There were candles everywhere. So that got deep into my heart. And then shortly after that was at Powderhorn Park. There was that big a demonstration and march. So my wife and I and a friend of ours went to that. And it just, you could feel the solidarity, and you could also feel the trauma that people were dealing with. It's like, they're just out and out murdering now.
Yeah.
And then when Alex Preddy happened, it was, of course, like, double that or more so, because like, they're just not going to stop. And this one was as crude an assassination as the first one, if not more so. Yeah, I had a friend of, I used to live a couple of blocks from there. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Dara Grumdahl, who is a local food writer, she does live a couple of blocks from there, and actually just like walked about a block or two to the scene when she heard it on the radio and got tear gassed. There's no less violent person in the world than her. And, and the fact that she's choking on tear gas, just trying to get a straight story of what's going on, is so horrifying and so brutal. And it really demands justice. Like, I like that we are addressing it. The next step has got to be every one of these goons has to be held to account, starting with the goons at the top and then working your way down. That's my feeling.
Dear Dara,
very, very mad, of course, as always.
Dear Dara, I just posted her fantastic. This is a food writer, and she wrote this amazing piece about the economic war. This is a financial attack on the city as well, which can't be denied. And that's brilliant. I shared that, and I mean, you should be following her whenever you can. That's the thing, is people's roles have changed here. It's okay. We've all driven past the freaking Whipple building. It's the one right over there by Fort Snelling. It's by the airport. And now I keep thinking to myself, you guys are torturing people inside this building. What in the F is going on here?
They have a concentration camp going on in there with kids. And I don't think it's any disrespect to call it that. It is, in fact, kind of what it's devolving into, or already has. And so it is, to say it's unacceptable is an understatement. It's revolting and needs redressing immediately. I'm a lot of fun, aren't I?
Well, but you see, dude, protesting takes a lot of forms. You guys doing 4 new MST3Ks is going to actually help the soul and healing process of all of this, because this is freaking nuts what is going down here. And every one of us is a witness to this. And so no matter what you've done in the past, you become a witness. And it's basically about standing up to what's bad. So no, we will have to do a special swear-a-thon version of a riff with the news cycle, and we'll let you guys just go at it, okay?
Yeah, the Midas Touch people brought up the possibility of Frank and Trace and I doing excerpts from Melania. And then I don't know if I could wish that on myself or those guys, but we'll see. And if so, I might fall asleep. It's probably a very, very boring thing in the end, but would not go back.
Riff Tracks, once again, is doing 4 new MST3Ks. You can go to rifftracks.com, find the Kickstarter page, make a donation, and just wait for the smiles to come, because they will come. And by the way, if you don't want to wait, Riff Tracks has got a ton of stuff there, which is absolutely hilarious. You will have a good time. Bill Corbett, thank you, my friend. I'm so glad you're with us, and thank you for coming on by today.
So appreciated. Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you and everyone there. Mike and Kevin, tell them I said hi as well. Chicago, Seattle, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bam, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, hour 2 up next.
Greg Bakken here. Who doesn't love to eat good food? And through Eat Local Minnesota, I want to show you some outstanding places to have a great meal. Since 1981, the Great Wall has been a Twin Cities favorite for Szechuan and Peking cuisine. Their menu is huge, flavorful, and consistently excellent. My go-to dishes are the sesame chicken, imperial beef, and their famous Peking duck. You'll find the Great Wall at 45th and France with takeout available. Visit greatwallrestaurant.us. Or how about pizza? Cafe Latte's award-winning gourmet cafeteria is open again for indoor dining. Come by and enjoy their pizza and wine bar, or treat yourself to something sweet from the bakery. Everything is made fresh daily. On the go, they still got easy online ordering, takeout, and gift cards available at cafelatte.com. That's Cafe Latte, right on Victoria and Grand in St. Paul. These are just a couple of great restaurants Minnesota has to offer. I'll be sharing more with you soon. And remember, when you eat local, Minnesota.
Come see the Trained Chimp. It's the Matt McNeil Show, 3 to 5 p.m. weekday afternoons, right here on AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. A racist post on President Trump's social media account depicting former President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle Obama as primates in a jungle has been taken down. Ed Donahue has more.
The White House initially defended the president's post. Timothy Welbeck, who heads the Center for Anti-Racism at Temple University, says Donald Trump has a history of racially marginalizing Barack Obama going back to birther claims.
So this image that was presented today must be looked at within that context and affirmed for what it is, a vile, racist, dehumanizing depiction of the former first Black president and a former first Black First Lady.
The post came on the first week of Black History Month. An Obama spokeswoman says the former president has no response. I'm Ed Donahue.
The Justice Department says a key participant in the deadly 2012 attack on the U.S. compound in Benghazi, Libya, has been taken into custody. The rampage killed 4 Americans. And Lawrence Brooks reports that Deputy Chief of Russian Military Intelligence has been shot.
Authorities say Lieutenant General Vladimir Alexeyev was shot several times at an apartment building in Moscow's northwest and was hospitalized. The shooting came a day after Russian, Ukrainian, and U.S. negotiators wrapped up 2 days of talks in Abu Dhabi. They aimed at ending the nearly 4-year conflict in Ukraine. Since Moscow sent troops into Ukraine nearly 4 years ago, Russian authorities have blamed Kyiv for several assassinations of military officers and public figures in Russia. Ukraine has claimed responsibility for some of them, but it has not yet commented on the shooting of Alexeyev. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
Closing out a mixed week for Wall Street, the S&P gained about 2% on the day, while the Nasdaq added 2.2. Both finished the week lower. The Dow surged more than 1,200 points on the day. That's about 2.5%. It finished the week higher. This is AP News.
Progressive Insurance knows pets, and one of the biggest differences between people and pets is that we don't eat things off the floor. But dogs definitely will, and it makes them so happy, no matter what it looks like, smells like, or what state of decomposition it's in. We all want to go through life that carefree, and that's also why you should get Progressive Pet Insurance, because they eat things off the floor. So protect your pet from all the questionable life decisions they make. You know where they drink from when you're gone, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimony.
Hi, this is Frank Brown with Minuteman Press Uptown. It's election season. If you're campaigning for a candidate, your outreach needs top quality union printed materials, from direct mail and yard signs to door hangers, buttons, t-shirts, and flyers. Minuteman Uptown is your union shop to get people to the polls. We print everything. We'll keep your candidate top of mind, target your message with a laser focus, and maximize your voter turnout efforts. Get started today at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ellie Krug, the host of The Illegal Trans Woman here on lovely AM 950. Now you know our show is about advocating for transgender and non-binary people. And let me tell you, in the political climate that's going on right now, we have a lot to talk about. I have exciting news. Effective immediately, our show is moving to 3 o'clock on Saturdays on AM 950. Plus, you'll always be able to find it on podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. So join me, The Illegal Trans Woman, 3 o'clock Saturdays.
Blue Man Group's North American Tour is coming to the State Theater February 13th through 15th. Dive into the thrilling Blue Man Group experience, a blend of captivating music, interactive art, and audience engagement. Blue Man Group creates a fun, disruptive, and out-of-the-ordinary atmosphere that exhilarates the senses and uplifts spirits for audiences of all ages. Tickets are on sale now at hennepinarts.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. This afternoon, skies clear with temperatures falling to 25, then tonight clear with a low of 8. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has the best roast beef sandwiches in the Twin Cities, but don't miss out on the chicken, fish, brisket, Philly steak, and more. Maverick's is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit mavericksbeef.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Hour number 2 of the show here on your Friday. Nice to have you with us. It's Matt, Patrick here as well. 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Broadcasting on AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and on BAM, the Blue Amp Media Network at blueamp.co on Substack. And a reminder, you can follow me on Substack at Matt McNeil Show. It's a young page, so be gentle there. I'm figuring my way out there. As well as also, you can go over to Blue Sky. I'm over on Blue Sky, and I love Blue Sky because it's positive like Substack. You can go over there. That's at Matt McNeil Show. Matt McNeil Show there. So follow us and partake, and I will interact with you the best I can. I'm an old man. I'm trying to figure this stuff out as I go. Okay. Patrick, we do have tickets. The Blue Man Group is coming into town. They're bringing their special show over to the State Theater here in Minneapolis, St. Paul on February 13th through the 15th. So a week from today and through next weekend. So we got some tickets to give away a little bit here. Now, this ticket is for either the Friday night show or the 1 p.m. Saturday show. So you have to be able to go to one of those shows, listen for your chance to call on in. You might be able to win those tickets. I have been watching this. I will say, because now the Olympics are started, there's tons of Olympic stuff going on. And so USA and Discovery Channel and all of them have some of this on. I was watching a little bit of it today. Do you realize how spread out the Olympic venue really is, though?
Yeah, I heard something like it's about 5 hours to get between some of the venues.
Well, yeah. So Milan's the main one, all right, but it's not in the mountains really. So you have to go up in the mountains. The one area they've, and I'm wondering if this is the template for non-major metro areas to host an Olympics in the future. And what I mean is that once you get past like London, Rome, Los Angeles, one of these major cities that can kind of, particularly with them, the Summer Olympics and those. But once you get past those, if you're going to do one of these things, Milan couldn't just do it himself. They have to basically incorporate these other communities to do it. And so in one area, it's the freestyle skiing and the snowboarding are in that area. Another area, they're doing the curling over there, and then the luge and the bobsled and all that stuff are over there. And then this other area, that's where the downhill skiing is. And so it's kind of actually a slick way to do it. You're breaking it apart. You're not creating an absolute nightmare on what I imagine would be just jam-packed Italian roads, trying to get everything into everywhere at once. So it's going to be good. I will say I watched a little bit of the opening ceremony. It looked pretty spectacular, just the early parts of it when they're kicking it off. And it's always nice to see the host country get featured a lot there. So, but yeah, I'm super geeked about this. We do have Michael Broadcourt coming on in here. We do have the Super Bowl coming up here on Sunday. We're going to talk a little bit about that with him and a little bit about the Vikings and how every Vikings fan is kind of really angry right now. You'll understand why in just a little bit. But we'll get to that here in a little bit as well. But I wanted to start out today with what is kind of it's a story of a douche. Sorry. It's a story of an absolute jackass of a human being. And then the reaction of the local Republican parties in this state to him leads me to have an absolute crap ton of questions, for lack of a better way to say it. So one of the things you're seeing a lot of art pieces kind of pop up around the cities, whether that's just posters on poles or people doing artwork and stuff like this. You're starting to see this pop up here because this is a way for people to deal with the darkness that has descended upon our city. an ICE sculpture that would basically said, prosecute ICE. Prosecute ICE. That's what the ICE sculpture said. Was destroyed outside of the Minnesota State Capitol just hours after it was unveiled on Thursday. The sculpture was installed by members of the veterans organization Common Defense and other community leaders in protest of the federal immigration operations in Minnesota. During the unveiling, the groups also called for accountability for the shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Reminder, this was a sculpture by veterans. All right. A few hours after it was unveiled, pardoned January 6th far-right activist Jake Lang, who is pretty much a Nazi, he's a neo-Nazi for sure, posted a video to social media appearing to show himself kicking over several of the letters of the sculpture. He basically then got arrested for doing so. What he did is it said prosecute ICE. He basically kicked down the letters so it said pro-ICE. So he vandalized the art piece. He went out there and vandalized the art piece because he didn't want anyone else's freedom of speech to be portrayed if he disagreed with it. Okay. A few hour, Minnesota State Patrol confirmed Lang was pulled over a short distance from the Capitol and taken into custody without incident. He was transported to the Ramsey County Jail to be booked on suspicion of criminal damage to property. He was listed in the Ramsey County Jail roster as of late Thursday afternoon. Don't know if he's still in there today. We can only hope. In a statement, the veterans group responsible for the sculpture called for Lang to be prosecuted. I gave 8 years of my life in service to this country and military, and for a January 6th insurrectionist to destroy our display is an attack on the First Amendment of veterans like me as we fought to defend. So the Common Defense Communications Director Jacob Thomas, like the ICE agents who murdered Preddy and Good, these criminals need to be prosecuted. Lang previously drew attention last month in his attempt to lead an anti-Muslim rally in Minneapolis. He was chased off by crowds before he attempted to burn a Koran outside of City Hall. It should be noted, okay, so I want to make sure I mention, I brought him up, was it yesterday, that he was saying he was going to do a rally in the rotunda of the state capitol, which is a public area, but if you want to do a rally, you actually have to get a permit, which was news to the Minnesota State Patrol, which runs security for the Capitol building, because he hadn't applied for one. Now, he was implying that somebody had given him the go-ahead, which I brought forward is, did somebody in the Republican Party tell Jake Lang to go over there, a neo-Nazi, to go over there and have a rally in the Capitol building? I think this is an interesting question, frankly. But we already kind of can see where he was going to go, that even though he didn't have the permit, he was probably going to try to storm the Capitol and scream about his First Amendment rights. The same guy that kicked down an art piece because he did not like the First Amendment rights of the people that made it. So, I mean, this is, douchey guy going to be douchey guy. That's kind of what we got going on here. But what I found to be interesting about this, and I don't think anyone's surprised that a right-wing, out-of-state instigator specifically went over there to attack a veteran's art piece and break it down. But what has surprised me is the local Republican parties in the state of Minnesota who've decided to snuggle up with the Nazi guy and have basically, they are treating him, the Nazi guy, as their hero. Now, people say, is he really a Nazi guy? Well, he's, basically been described as a neo-Nazi. He's done Nazi salutes. That's checklist getting that's one down there. He's been recorded performing Nazi salutes during public demonstrations, including the January 26th at an anti-AIPAC protest in D.C. He has, during his events, he's promoted the Great Replacement Theory and he used racist slurs, including comments targeting Jewish and immigrant communities. And when questioned about the Holocaust during the protest, he reportedly stated he did not believe it happened at that level. So basically, he's a Holocaust denier, he's anti-Semitic, he's racist, and he loves his Nazi salutes. So let's go to the big board. Nazi. There we go. Yes. He's a guy that basically does not have any problem attaching himself to Nazi rhetoric or Nazi actions such as Heil Hitler salutes. Now, I could bring up multiple different problems for the Candioi County Republican Party and the Wright County Republican Party, who are basically like, yay, Jake Lang's our hero. He's our hero. He's our hero. I could bring up multiple. I could bring up the freedom of speech issue. You guys, you whiny, blubbering little toddlers, always scream about, you're violating my freedom of speech. You guys do that all the time, man. But yet somebody else's freedom of speech, well, you guys have no problem violating that because I'm a righteous fighter for the cause. You know what that cause is? Racism and Nazism, but okay, fine. If that's the path you want to go down, okay. So you guys are the ones who are always claiming about you're for freedom of speech, and here you are praising somebody literally taking away somebody else's freedom of speech. Hypocrites. You guys all were furious when after the George Floyd riots here, we had people, the indigenous crowd came and tore down the Columbus statue, which we should have never put up in the first place because Columbus was horrible. He murdered millions, well, hundreds of thousands at least. He sold Columbus, amongst the other things. He mutilated people. He sold them into slavery. He killed all these people. He was a horrible person. We should never be saluting Columbus. We should have never saluted him. But just in case you're missing, he sold, was it 8 and 9-year-old Native girls as sex currency. That's something that happened under his watch. He sold young Native girls as sex currency. And you guys loved him. But you guys were, and what was your argument is, he might not have been perfect, but you don't just go down and tear down statues and sculptures. You just don't do that. Well, here they are. Tear down the sculpture. Tear it down. So I could point that out. I could easily point out as a veteran myself, you whiny, sniveling little jackasses, that you're pretty anti-veteran at this point. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some MAGA veteran that will sit there and say, yeah, disrespecting veterans is what veterans do. I'm sure. Yeah, whatever. But you guys are clearly anti-veteran. So F off on that one. As a veteran myself, U.S. Army, thank you very much. You guys, all this, you guys like, we salute the soldier, all this. And all of a sudden the soldiers say something you don't like and screw those guys. So I could point that out all day long too. But I do want to point out the most obvious one. And something I'm going to beg the local media here in the town and in the state to, actually, you might want to bring this up. The Candioi County and the Wright County Republican parties have chosen a Nazi as their hero and are defending the Nazi. You guys are defending the actions of a neo-Nazi who loves his Nazi salutes and he thinks he's a Holocaust denier and all these. This is your hero. This is the guy you're putting on the pedestal as your hero. The Nazi guy. You guys, we had Donald Trump today, and you guys said, you shouldn't call him racist, as basically he burns a cross on the White House lawn and, shows he's just racist. And you guys get all your panties in a bunch because you all sit there and say, oh, well, how dare you use such rhetoric. That's what you guys say. But here you guys are. And of course, locally here, there's all these Republicans who are clutching the pearls. Oh, where's my fainting couch? They're clutching their pearls because they say, hey, you guys are acting a lot like the Nazis and your rhetoric. It's us, the people being gunned down in the street. The racist attack on the city is not the problem. It's the fact that you guys are talking about it and putting in correct historical context. How dare your rhetoric do this? That's what they say, right? But here you are defending a Nazi. Here you are. Goering gets a bad rap. Really? You guys, as people who sit there and say, we're not Nazis, let me give you a little Candy Ojai County Republican Party, Wright County Republican Party. Let me give you a little bit of a pep talk here, huh? If you don't want to be compared to the Nazis, then stop propping up the Nazis. You're doing this. You're embracing the neo-Nazi. You think the Nazi. Forget about all the other hypocrisy, the fact that you guys are supposedly freedom of speech, but you're denying that. Forget about the fact that you guys were so upset when Columbus statues were taken down that sculptures and statues should never be violated. And here you are gleefully violating this one. And forget the fact that you guys who claim to like the veterans are openly declaring war on a veterans group. You guys are embracing the Nazi. He's your hero in Wright County. The Nazi is your hero in Candy Ojai County. And then you sit there and you wonder why we say, what's with all the Nazis? And you guys, your rhetoric is bad. Now, pardon me why Himmler and Goebbels and I go out and have some lunch. Okay. You're broken people. And I want to make sure you're pointing this. We all know what this is. You're so upset about the Democrats basically not tolerating being abused by ICE that you're so desperate to grab onto something to rail around and say, see, we're really winning. So you went with the Nazi who attacked the veterans statue and violated their First Amendment rights, as you yourself said that sculptures and statues should not be violated, and you've wrapped yourself around him like he's some great god. Well, I'm sorry. Wright County Republican Party, Candy Ojai County Republican Party, if you're going to go full Nazi, then don't be surprised when I say, wow, you guys are palling around with the Nazis, aren't you? It's on you guys. That's not me. That's just me making an observation, which I know you guys are against. Don't look up. Don't look up. Don't watch the video. Don't watch the video. You guys are pathetic. Now, news media, they are doing this. This is on their social media pages. You could just follow up with a question. Hey, do you guys really support the neo-Nazi? I mean, that seems like basic reporting 101. Journalism 101. You guys fantasize about being spotlight. You know, here's an opportunity for you to do just basic journalism. And I will not hold my breath because you guys will give these guys the out on their association with the Nazis every single freaking time. Unbelievable. 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Take a break. Come on back. It is the Matt McNeil Show on your Friday.
At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, our job is to help you find a place for fire. Our displays include over 180 models in diverse styles, and we have over 35 burning displays. Come and experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Some say there are only two seasons in Minnesota: road construction and winter. Hi, this is Laura, and I agree there are two seasons in Minnesota: summer and fireplace season. I bought my wood stove for Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces in 2005, and every season after summer comes the time when we fire up the wood stove, get out our favorite music, and discover the warmth of fire. Our dog Pumpkin remembers the fire too. He stations himself right there, legs up in the air, just enjoying the warmth of the fire. With the wood stove, we are able to keep the main area of the house toasty warm, while the thermostat is set at an energy-efficient 64 degrees. Discover your fireplace season. Visit Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces today.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Hey, Francois, what are you making?
Bonjour, Laura. Je fais une carte de Minnesota en macarons de Nicolettes.
You're making a map of Minnesota out of macarons from Nicolettes? Why?
C'est pour la Saint-Valentin.
Oh, for Valentine's Day. And who's it for?
Tout le Minnesota.
All of Minnesota? That's so sweet, Francois.
Je t'aime, Minnesota, et je t'aime, Nicolettes.
I love Nicolette's macarons, too. Share the love at nicoletsmacarons.com, and happy Valentine's Day, Minnesota.
Get ready to zoom into a world full of color, música, and alegría at Children's Theater Company. Go Da Go, Ve Pero Ve is a bilingual musical bursting with playful, high-speed energy as dogs drive, swim, and race to the big dog party. This joyful espectáculo blends English y Español with expressive physical storytelling. Go Da Go is sure to have you laughing, moving, and howling with delight. On stage January 20th through February 22nd. Tickets at childrenstheater.org.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hey, this is Andy Otto, Executive Director of Twin Cities Pride and your host of Twin Cities Pride Amplified. Our community needs your help. Twin Cities Pride is collecting donations to help our local community in need. We're collecting everything from shelf-stable food to household cleaning supplies, infant care items, and personal care products at our Pride Cultural Arts Center. If you're looking to help, reach out to us at info@tcpride.org or just stop by 1201 Harmon Place in Minneapolis. It's our time to take care of our community and take care of each other all year long.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. I'm kind of looking to see if they haven't had a report up here. If you get a chance to take a look at this here in a second. I was wondering about Liam Ramos's family. They was doing an emergency deportation hearing today. I haven't heard back on how that was going to go. So if you do, Patrick, if you get time here, because we got to do one thing right now. I got to give away some tickets. So we got the Blue Man Group coming into town here next weekend, February 13th through the 15th. They're going to be with the Historic State Theater, a signature blend of percussive music, visual spectacle, and humor. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's wonderful. I've got a pair of tickets you can pick your choose. You can either do the Friday night show, the 13th, or the 1 o'clock show on the 14th. Your choice, 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Caller number 5, you will get yourself a pair of tickets to go see the Blue Man Group. Good luck. 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205 is the phone number. Enjoy. And once again, they are in town over at the Historic State Theater, February 13th through the 15th next weekend. So let me go through some of the stuff that I do know is going on today with the latest update on ICE. Despite claims of the Trump administration that it will be removing 700 agents from Minnesota to reduce the scale of Operation Metro Surge, residents in the Twin Cities have seen no let-up in the ferocious crackdown on immigration. Now, I'd say the only difference between Holman and Bavino is that Bavino, what would happen when Bavino and his ICE thugs would show up is the first thing they would do is say, look, there are some protesters a block and a half away over there that are not really bothering us. Line up the troops and let's go storm them. And that was the thing that they were doing. They were specifically looking to target protesters that were not really even bothering them just to go get them because, small manhood. But that hasn't happened as much with Holman, but he is still viciously going after anybody who's not white in the metro area. Actually, and I should say is going after. There's reports of pepper spray and gas being deployed against people they're determining to be maybe following them or keeping track of them. Thursday proved to be a day of heavy immigration activity across the Twin Cities metro. Dozens of reported ICE sightings and arrests being uploaded to the iceout.org, which is likely just a fraction of the total operations over the course of the day. Early this week, Trump borders our home and claimed that administration is reducing its force by 700. Even with the withdrawal of the 700 agents is true, it still leaves more than 2,000 in the state. Basically, they claimed this week that agents have been conducting more targeted immigration arrests in homes and neighborhoods and that convoys have been harder to find and less aggressive. But residents on the ground in parts of the city see a little difference to the approach. Liam Davis Temple, a spokesperson for the Minneapolis City Council president, said Thursday in one of the most active days of ICE cars and presence in the Northeast since the entire metro surge started. So everything you're hearing about the headlines, they're all lies, that they're not drawing down. There is a large convoy of multiple cars that Holman said wouldn't be happening anymore. That's a lie. They were up and down Central Avenue all day, running red lights and driving erratically, being unsafe in our community. They were at 26 and Jackson, known school bus stops for children. They were circling around Edison and then driving onto Central. We got reports they were at the Northeast Middle Schools. We got reports they were at Spiro Academy, a school for students with disabilities. Nice. Wow. Had good for you guys. You're going out and targeting the disabled kids now? You're going out and targeting disabled children. Wow. Which I'm pretty sure the Wright County and Candido County Republican Party are going to be going, yay, go get them. My God. You're targeting disabled children. On the ground, nothing has changed. A report from Payne's office tallies the information that had been received about activity in South Minneapolis on Thursday. Reporters noting multiple reports in the Whittier area, the same neighborhood where Alex Preddy was killed on January 24th. The University of Minnesota confirmed that 12 arrests were made during the last night's noise protest at the Graduate by Hilton Hotel. University of Minnesota Police Department says the protests were given multiple orders to disperse during 4 separate protest events outside the hotel over the course of Thursday. 11 were arrested for disorderly conduct, 1 for property damage at the hotel. Some of those people need to be arrested for having 6 sick beats. My God, some of the musicians they're getting out there, the drummers and the horn players, solid guys, enjoying the music. I hope they are at 2 in the freaking morning. They want to, I'm sorry, your sleep got interrupted. Well, I'm sure that's just as bad as the family that's cowering in the basement of their house right now, hoping you guys don't, jackbooted thugs don't kick open the door and drag them out of here and throw them down into Texas and hope that someday they might eventually see the rest of their families again. My God. This is a story I was mentioning earlier. Trump's administration moved to deport the family of the 5-year-old Minneapolis boy whose now viral image captured him in the snow as federal officers arrested his father, fueled outrage against the mass deportation efforts. Liam Ramos is the target here. The Department of Homeland Security filed a motion in immigration court this week to end asylum claims for the father of preschooler Liam Ramos to expedite the removal from the country, according to the family attorney. The family's asylum hearing, initially set for later this month, was abruptly moved to Friday morning. My guess is to try to stop people from seeing what was trying to go on. So I want to make sure we understand something. Liam Ramos gets returned home after they arrested a 5-year-old. He gets returned home because he wasn't supposed to be there. They immediately basically try to rush this to get this in front of a judge, probably a loyal judge who will say, Trump can do whatever he wants. Try to probably not let his lawyer know that he's supposed to be there so they can do this. They don't do this without, and clearly they didn't do this without any warning. So there's a legit chance that maybe the family weren't able to get their lawyer informed so they can try to get this guy thrown out of the country just out of spite. And we should make sure this is just out of spite. Liam made them look bad because he was a 5-year-old that was arrested by ICE agents. And they don't blame the ICE agents for arresting the 5-year-old. They blame Liam for being the 5-year-old who was arrested. And they're so angry at the 5-year-old that they're immediately trying to throw them out of the country as a punishment. I want to just come here and work the jobs that white people in this country do not want to work. And he is the villain. And his kid here is getting the abuse. Unbelievable. We have not gotten an update on how that case went. There was one story of one of the sheriffs, I think it's up in the Brainerd area, where the sheriff, I want you to think about this. So you're a sheriff in a county. So you pretty much know most of the businesses. You and your sheriff's deputies have probably eaten at most of the restaurants out there. Well, now the sheriff is basically taking ICE over to restaurants in their community to arrest people who are scrubbing dishes and mopping floors. Not hardened criminals, restaurant workers. None of them are hardened criminals. They're just not white. And the sheriff, who probably was there the night before having the enchilada platter, these are tasty, took the ICE agents up there to the restaurant to arrest these people because, yeah. And then all of a sudden, when that restaurant closes, I guarantee you that dumbass is going to sit there and say, I wonder why that Mexican restaurant closed. That place was pretty good. Well, maybe because you rounded up all their workers and had them shipped out of the state. Dear Lord. City community leaders say the federal immigration crackdown in Minneapolis is causing an economic crisis. I talked about this. This is a problem. Employees afraid to work and customers fearful. Minneapolis businesses are losing $10 million to $20 million in sales this week, with revenue down more than a half in the first 2 months since Operation Metro Surge began. I can imagine there isn't one business in Minneapolis that has not had a revenue decline in the past 8 weeks, said Eric Hansen, the city's director of community planning and economic development. Immigrant-owned businesses that form the city's cultural district have been hit hardest, with estimated revenue losses at 80-100%, as many of them have completely shut down. The Lake Street Council estimated the corridor, more than 1,000 immigrant-owned businesses lost a cumulative $46 million in December and January. About half are closed on any given day, said Russ Adams, manager of the Corridor Recovery Initiatives. Non-immigrant-owned businesses on Lake Street are also feeling pressure, he said, as their employees and some shoppers don't feel safe. It's an economic crisis of catastrophic proportions. Now, this is by design. I want to make sure we understand. This is by design. They're trying to shut down. If they can't arrest, they're trying to arrest the people they can arrest who are just not white, but they're trying to punish everyone else by basically choking off the businesses. And all these Republicans will sit out in their tertiary and quaternary suburbs and sit there and say, businesses can't survive in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Well, yeah, when you basically torch the place, it has a little bit of a downturn on the number of customers you're going to get. And they're doing this, and they are doing this with a smile on their face. And I want to remind all the outstate counties here where these Republicans live. The Twin Cities metro area subsidizes your weak-ass county. It does. Your counties can't pay their bills. So you need the Twin Cities metro area to subsidize your budgets. And here you guys are choking off that money. And all of a sudden, you're going to be sitting there saying, well, we need money for these roads and for a new water treatment plant. Well, maybe you shouldn't have basically bit the hand that fed you. Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. It's just every day. And then you hear the tragic ones. Nearly 1 month after a Minneapolis fifth grader stopped showing up for class with no word from her family, the missing girl has finally been seen inside the sprawling, measles-ridden immigration detention center in Texas that's holding a number of immigrant families. Officials at Valley View Elementary School in Columbia Heights told the newspaper they feared the worst after the girl's family wasn't answering calls while the school-issued laptop was sitting in her classroom untouched for weeks. It wasn't until two of her schoolmates, brothers in second and fifth grade, were released from the same Texas facility that the school got word that the missing girl was actually with them in that facility. The brothers were detained in Texas with their mother and recognized the missing girl inside, according to Valley View Elementary's Jason Kuhlman. It was surreal, he told the newspaper. It was like, are you kidding me? I wonder how many kids are missing and are currently sitting in a Texas facility, scared to death, crying every night, going hungry, getting measles. It's not slowing down up here. It might not be the aggressive jackassery of Bovino, but they are still going after and grabbing people who are just darker than white and getting rid of them. And it does seem like that if they feel as someone is in their way, they are gassing them and pepper spraying them still. And they're going after the kids. This is why he went full racist today, is because he doesn't want you paying attention to what's going on in Minneapolis or in the Epstein files. That's why he went full racist. All right. Patrick, did we happen to give away tickets there to that Blue Man Group show?
Yes, we did. Congratulations, Roberta and Maple Grove.
Roberta and Maple Grove, enjoy those tickets. Of course, once again, I do want to mention Blue Man Group is going to be at the Historic State Theater next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can go get tickets and enjoy. We'll take a break. Come on back. We will abruptly change direction as the Super Bowl is coming up this weekend. Our football expert, Michael Broadcorp, is going to be kind enough to join us to talk about the football game, what he's going to be eating, and his thoughts mainly on a little bit on the Vikings and the firing of their general manager. We'll come back with that as well. It is the Matt McNeil Show here on your Friday.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been telling you about my friends at Snap Construction, who are arguably the most well-reviewed exterior construction company in the metro. Don't just take my word for it. Take a look at all their reviews online. Winter is the most cost-effective time of the year to complete your construction project. A majority of Minnesotans choose to have their work completed on their home in the summer when they should be enjoying the weather. As a result, the demand for labor in the summer is much higher. The most cost-effective way to improve or restore your home is in the winter due to the lower demand. Right now, Snap Construction is offering an additional 30% off of labor to the AM 950 listeners on your next construction project between now and the end of February. Call 612-333-SNAP and mention AM 950 for an additional 30% off. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
At cause-cart.com, every purchase supports makers, artists, and social impact brands, creating a ripple of good with every gift you give. From handcrafted jewelry and self-care essentials to one-of-a-kind art, find something beautiful that gives back. Shop with Heart this Valentine's Day at cause-cart.com, where every gift tells a story of love and impact. And right now, Cause Cart is offering free local delivery in Hennepin, Ramsey, and Washington County until February 13th. Just choose Pickup Option at checkout to take advantage of this complimentary delivery option. When you shop with Cause Cart, you're supporting artists, nonprofits, socially conscious businesses, and yourself. Every item reflects a commitment to positive change. Cause Cart uses biodegradable and recyclable packaging and invests in carbon credits. Shop with heart this Valentine's Day at cause-cart.com, where every gift tells a story of love and impact.
Hey, Chanhassen and Eden Prairie, it's Alex with Buzz Cut Mowing. Why wake up early, freeze, and shovel snow when I can handle it for you? I provide fast, reliable snow removal so your driveway and sidewalk stay clear, safe, and stress-free all winter long. Relax, enjoy your morning coffee, and let me do the heavy lifting. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com today and make this winter easier, warmer, and worry-free with Buzz Cut Mowing, because nobody likes shoveling snow.
Celebrate Valentine's with the perfect musical. The Chameleon Theater Circle is proud to present I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. Bright, sexy, witty, and fun, this show will appeal to anyone who has ever fallen into the deep end of love and come up gasping for air. Shows run 3 weekends starting February 13th at Inver Hills Community College. Just Google Chameleon Theater to see times and reserve tickets. I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change with the Chameleon Theater Circle. Get your tickets now.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 8, then Saturday, sunshine with a high of 24. Go Dog Go, Vapero-Vay is going on now at Children's Theater Company. Get tickets today for this joyful bilingual musical where delightful dogs drive, swim, play baseball, and race to the big dog party. Get your tickets at childrenstheater.org.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
It is a Friday. We have one more football game left to play, and Michael Broadcorp, who has been our Vikings correspondent throughout the entire season and our football correspondent once the Vikings really, well, they didn't make anywhere. He is kind enough to join us here today to talk about the big game coming up on Sunday, Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Hello, Michael. How are we?
It's great to be here.
Oh, you're muted or something? You might be muted there. All right. We got you now?
Can you hear me now?
We don't have him now. Can you? Is that on there? Try to.
Can you hear me now?
Anything there? Hello.
I can hear.
There we go. I got you.
There we go.
Beautiful.
As you were doing the intro, I was thinking if the Vikings were playing on Sunday, what state I would be in right now, and I would probably have to be sedated, as the Ramones sang about. Or in some type of straitjacket, because I don't know how I would be able to handle this.
Well, because we'd be favored. I mean, okay.
Of course.
So, all right. I'll get the pain out of the way. Let's rip this Band-Aid off. Vikings had fired their general manager, which basically means we now know who kind of was the point person at saying, no, we don't need to keep Sam Darnold. J.D. McCarthy is going to be great. and also was the point person behind us drafting J.J. McCarthy, and not the guy after J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, who just took his team to the AFC Championship game. Yeah, I think that considering the tone of the Vikings fans in this city about watching what has happened this playoffs and realizing Sam Darnold wanted to be here, we could have made an offer for him. We could have made it happen. We didn't, because we said we didn't need a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and it's blown up in the face. Someone was going to pay for it, and it ends up being the general manager.
Yeah, I think that's a completely fair analysis. I think it's for a lot of Vikings fans, and I've been there. I've been pouting. I've been, somewhat ornery and bad spirits. Sam Darnold the Patriots are favored this weekend. He was on our team a year. I mean, this could
Patriots
be us.
The Seahawks. I thought the Seahawks are favored. Aren't the Seahawks?
The Seahawks. I'm sorry, Seahawks. I said the wrong team. Sorry, Seahawks. Yeah, I apologize. Seahawks are favored. The Seahawks have the momentum. They're getting the respect. They're in the position to win on Sunday. Again, anything can happen. If Sam Darnold wins, great. But it's going to be very tough for a number of Vikings fans. And there's been, sports teams in Minnesota are considered to have a little bit of bad luck. And I got to tell you, this is a new chapter this offseason if Sam Darnold delivers on Sunday.
I mean, it really is. How do you? I mean, it's literally grabbing defeat from the jaws of victory. I mean, you had this guy here, and yeah, you would have had to probably get rid of one or two of your better players, but you would have had a quarterback, and with that wide receiver core, I just don't see how they would have lost. And they just, it was on the platter for them, and there has been a lot of bad personnel and draft choices over the years here. I think this was coming, but yeah, the Wilfs who own the team, they're basically looking at a nightmare scenario. And I think all of us can say it would be nice if Sam Darnold won. He's a nice guy. He was here. He's a wonderful guy.
I'm ready to say
nice
that.
Person. Yeah, I hope he does win. But the pain of that, to realize he was there with us and we had him, and someone decided they were going to be smarter than anyone else, and they ended up being dumber than everyone else. And there it goes.
No, you're absolutely right. And, I've been kind of pushing it off. My standard response has been to say, we couldn't afford him. It was outside what we could have done. But the longer, particularly the week off break between the Super Bowl, where there wasn't a game last Sunday, I've had a lot of time to just sit and think, and we should have been able to pull this off. And the Vikings, I've always had faith in the leadership, Kwesi and KOC, but it was clear that a decision needed to be made, and there needed to be some accountability. And it's great to see there needs to be that. And so we now know it, but it's clear that pain and that reality had broken through to the Vikings management and to the Vikings ownership. And so the decision was made. And I think be very curious to see where they go with their next GM. Is it internal or outside?
Well, that's a story for another day, and we will obviously cover that as we get closer to the draft. We'll have you back on for that. The Olympics are starting up, and I know usually we're here to talk about football, but I have to admit it's funny. This morning I was watching the team figure skating competition, and it took me 0 times like, man, that wasn't a good spin. Immediately, just a sport I haven't watched in 4 years is like, that wasn't a good jump. She didn't land that correctly. Look at those skates. I am back into it. I do love the Olympics.
I do too. I got my Miracle hat on, the Miracle on Ice team. I had the VR goggles on at my house today, watching the sports, judging something.
Okay, wait a second. VR goggles? You were
virtual reality, some meta goggles that I have from the Facebook. So I was watching some of the immersive sports, judging if I should be doing anything, it's judging athletics. And I was watching I'll be watching the opening ceremonies tonight. Don't ruin any of the surprises for me, please. But I love the Olympics. I love the Olympics. I love cheering them on. My wife and I like to watch it. And I will just say, I take all the politics, all the humanity out of it. I do kind of miss the East versus West, the Soviet bloc versus the United States. I'm not advocating for the atrocities of the communist Soviet Union to be back. Please don't take that to your listeners. But just that kind of rivalry in sport was great. And so I'll look forward to watching the opening ceremony tonight, but I'm a big Olympic junkie.
I always remember those Russian figure skaters that look like Reacher. No, that person's not on steroids.
Sure.
Okay. What is your favorite guilty pleasure obtuse Olympic sport?
luge, double luge,
Luge, okay.
double luge, which is one, and then curling, and then
Yeah.
figure skate. I mean, probably luge is my favorite. That's a guilty one.
Oh, I would go with biathlon. You're skiing
Oh,
at an insane rate, and then you can actually basically get
shoot.
down and shoot. I mean, I that is amazing skill. And no one in the United States, we've never meddled in this. But apparently the Swedes and the Germans, this is something that happens a lot, I guess. I'm shooting bear or a reindeer or something.
I have to tell you, I think cross country is one of the worst sports ever invented. Cross country skiing, I don't like it. And so the fact that they can do a combination of that and then shoot is just remarkable. But I love everything about the Olympics.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it, and we've got 2 weeks of that. We'll get into that here. Back to the Super Bowl Sunday, 5:00. What is on the Broadcorb dining table for your Super Bowl Sunday?
I haven't decided yet, so it's still up in the air. But we'll pull something off that'll be epic, and also I'll be able to drown myself in some type of food-based sorrow. Depending on how the game goes. I'm not much of a drinker, but I am one to eat my way through my misery, and I think I'll be doing that on Sunday.
I'm with it. I don't drink, but I love good food. I will say this: my trash panda side comes on out, because until you can find me a better dip than Velveeta cheese and Rotel, I will have that every. I mean, it is just it is amazing how good that is, and I know that there is no natural thing in that. I don't know what is in it.
It's good for you.
Oh,
and it's good for you.
Oh yeah, it's light.
It's light, yes.
It's like Rubens. I do Rubens every year. I love them in the Foreman grill, man. They like a panini. They're fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, halftime show, Bad Bunny. Will you watch it, or are you gonna go over and catch Kid Rock?
I was gonna ask. That was gonna be my one joke. No, I don't know what a Bad Bunny is. I assume it's not something from Looney Tunes, but I'll probably watch it just because I'll be entertained by it. But no, I can't think of ever flipping channels out of objection and going over to watching anyone else, but certainly not Kid Rock.
All right. So you've got the Seattle Seahawks and you got New England Patriots. And I would say this, going into this season, this is probably the most unlikely Super Bowl matchup. When we started talking about football week 1, I don't think either one of us would peg this as the matchup. I think we were thinking it was going to be Detroit or and maybe like the Buffalo Bills or something like that, or the Chiefs again. But this is, Philadelphia Eagles, but this
or
is
the Vikings.
Could have been
Vikings.
No, maybe not. But hindsight being 2020,
yes.
Nope. It is a very unpredicted Super Bowl, which to a point makes it fun, because it really is kind of one of those things where up until I started thinking about this episode of the show, I was asking myself, who do I think is going to win this game? Because it really is. It is an NFC team that seems to be more well-rounded and a plucky upstart AFC team in the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I think you laid it on quite well. I think it's going to be an exciting game to watch. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think that it can go either way, but I still, I met with my doctor this week. I'm comfortable saying that I think the Seahawks are. I'm comfortable saying that the Seahawks, I think, are in the driver's seat, are in a real strong position on Sunday. If Sam Darnold wins, I'll wish him the best. I'll grieve privately, but I'll wish him the best. But I also will tell you that, Drake May, with just kind of just one vote shy of winning the MVP, he's got something now to prove on Sunday. And so I wonder if that gives an additive incentive. I truly think it's going to be a great game to watch.
I don't think it does, because he didn't lose to Darnold. He lost to Rams boy, and I think
he lost to Darnold boy.
I think there would be a big chip on the shoulder. I don't know. Yeah. I think the New England Patriots are a great story. I grew up in Rhode Island. I was born in Minnesota, but I lived in Rhode Island. So I like the Patsies, but I just don't see how any way in the planet that the Seahawks lose this. They're a better rounded team. They got a better defense. They got a better running game. And Darnold, even though is not he's not the best quarterback in the league, he knows how to find receivers when he needs to, and he knows how to check down and see where the better opportunities are. I just think it is. I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be high scoring, but I think it's going to probably be like a 42-21 Seahawks over the Patriots.
So you think high scoring too?
I do, but not close. I mean, what's your thought on the score?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, high scoring, but not close. We are coming into year 6. Vikings are around since 61, so we're coming into 65. 65 years of the Minnesota Vikings. If Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl on Sunday, that will be one of the most easy to draw lines of a dagger that will have happened in the Vikings fan base in quite some time.
The Herschel Walker trade was pretty bad, and that still stings on a lot of levels up here. The wide right 98. That stings still. I got to tell you, it definitely would probably be a top 10 worst moment ever. And it's just, and that includes 4 Super Bowl losses. So,
but all the best. It's going to be a great game. Whoever wins, and if Sam Darnold wins, I'll be happy to say that he won.
You can put your VR glasses on, watch some luge if it goes bad on you.
Yes,
right,
2 double luge. I'll watch some of that.
Michael Broadcorp, once again, our Vikings, our football expert. I appreciate the time today. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll check in with you in a few weeks, okay?
Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend.
Take care. We'll take a break. Come on back. It is the Matt McNeil Show on your Friday.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. February is the month for love, so when was the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it deserves? Maybe you've been procrastinating on the holiday post-mortem cleanup at your house. Are you worried if you got down on your hands and knees what you might see or smell? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the largest air filter in your home. And what's worse, you're going to be stuck inside breathing this nasty stuff for months. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call my friends at Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. A 4.9 rating on Google reviews and over 21,000 satisfied customers can't be wrong. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
I am the amazing Cassandra, a mechanical fortune teller who can predict the exact date and time of your passing. But 5 teenagers have died, and I alone have the power to save them if they can pass my test of song. Their musical trials begin January 16th at Lyric Arts Theater in Anoka. Ride the cyclone along with them at lyricarts.org.
At Schroman Law, we provide more than just legal documents. We walk alongside our clients to ensure their wishes and legacies are being honored with every choice. And we do this while recognizing that this process can be emotional and weighty. Our team includes attorneys, as well as a grief coach and a published writer ready to assist with legacy letters and extra wishes to go alongside your healthcare directive. Contact us today to learn more at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. Thank you very much for being with us this week. We are going to be coming on back on a Monday. Have a fantastic weekend, all right? We're going to take you into the weekend with a little bit of Prince. Not dancing on this one because we have the long intro on this one, but I'm not going to let the negative people get me. We're going to basically enjoy this as we can. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, see ya.
Day or night. So when you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills, you know the one, Dr. Everything will be alright. Instead of asking how much of your time is left, ask him how much of your mind, baby. Cause in this life, things are much harder than the afterworld. This life, you're on your own. And if the elevator tries.
In today's uncertain times, Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces believes that a fire can add comfort